What sticks out in your mind right now? I want you to think about that. I want you to keep that in mind as we conduct this session. Now, focus on me, the color of my eyes, maybe the texture of my hair. Focus on the way that I move, or the sounds of my speech. Let me take the reins for a little bit and just allow yourself to relax. What is it that you want from this session? What is it that you are looking for? What is it that you think you need? This is a trick question. I know what you need. I know what you need. Not what you think you want. Not what you think you need. But I know what you need. I hope you can trust that I have your best interests at heart, and that I know what you need, that I will do my best to deliver what it is that you need in this moment. First, I'd like you to just relax. Relax as best as you can. And I know that's somewhat a tall order, isn't it? But allow me to elaborate. First, let's just take a breath. Take a deep breath in and out. Reset the pattern that is your breath. We often spend most of our time not even realizing what our breathing feels like, the cadence of it, how it may be more shallow in our chest, or perhaps deep in our abdomen. We don't notice when it quickens or when it slows. But we're taking this moment right now to break that pattern, and now we're going to notice it. I want you to just notice as you take a breath in and out. How does that feel to you? How does it feel to let your lungs expand with the air that gives you life? How does it feel to let that go, trading carbon dioxide for oxygen? Let's look at your posture. Let's look at the tension in your muscles. Now I want you to take a moment to just look inside your body. I want you to become aware of it, aware that it is all one cohesive unit as opposed to a bunch of parts that work together. I want you to feel the clothing on your skin. I want you to feel the weight of your body as you're sitting or lying down. I want you to feel a very gentle breeze of air as it blows past you, or perhaps the warmth of the sun, the coolness of the moon. Just notice how your body feels as one entire unit. Where are there places where there may be some tension? Do you feel it in your temples, in your forehead, your jaw, your neck? Do you feel it in your sternum? Does it feel tight there? Do you feel it in your arms as they're pulled forward? Do you feel it in your shoulders as they're hiked up? Do you feel it in your abdomen? Does it feel like a coil of dread or apprehension? Do you feel any pain there? Or is it just emotion? Do you feel it in your legs at all? Are the muscles clenched up? Do you feel it in your feet? Take a moment and just wiggle your toes for me. So wiggle your toes and feel that sensation as your toes rustle together. How does that feel? The skin between your toes as they rub together, how does that feel? Now to your ankles. Can you maybe give them a little bit of a roll? The side, change directions, change back. Is there any tension there? Can you slide up to the calves? Is there any tension there? Can you clench them and then release it all at once? And can you do the same with your thighs? Can you clench them together and release it all at once? So that you release some of that tension, so that you manually relax those muscles. And what about your abdomen? Does it feel better if you place a hand over it? Does it relieve any tension there? The warmth and the weight of your hand. Does that feel supportive to you? Does it feel like it helps? And even your chest. Does it feel better if you place your hand over your heart? Does that little bit of weight ground you to the moment? Do you find your breath slowing at all? Has it stayed pretty rhythmic? Or have you noticed that it's gotten away from you? Are you still wiggling your toes? Or have you let them stop so that you could focus on other things? Why don't you keep wiggling your toes while we're going through this? See if you can feel all the sensory information at once. Your body's capable of it, but most of it we tune it out. What about your shoulders? Does it feel better if you roll them back a little bit and pull them down? Do you feel the stretch across your chest? Do you feel that open up? You might feel a little bit of tension in your back as you roll your shoulders back and pull them together a little bit. Stretch it. Roll the shoulders back and let them drop down. And what about your arms? Does it feel better if they're laying at your sides as opposed to over your stomach or your chest? Or does it feel better to have them coiled around you? Would it feel better if you wiggled your fingers a little bit? If you clench them together real tight and then let the tension go. Clench them, let it go. Clench and let it go. Now, I want you to just take another deep breath for me. Deep breath in and out. And that's how we start a session. My name is Calliope. What's yours? It's very nice to meet you. For the rest of our session here, I am going to need to be touching you at certain points. Is that okay with you? Do I have your permission to do that? Excellent. As we go through, I want you to try to stay connected with all of your senses. And a lot of what I do bridges the sensation with actively trying to make you feel that all at once. It's easy enough to focus on one sensation at a time, but we're trying to combine them, and we're trying to keep you aware of all of them. Now let's start here. Let's start here. With a little exercise. I have something in a little glass jar. And when I hold it up to your nose, I want you to tell me the first thing, the very first thing that you think it smells like. Right? Right. Take a little smell. What do you think that smells like? It's wrong. I want you to take another smell. It smells like peppermint, doesn't it? I want you to really absorb that smell. The spicy coolness of peppermint. Can you smell that? Can you smell peppermint here? Well, it's not actually peppermint. Instead, it's citrus. The bite and the tang of juicy, decadent lemons and limes. Can you smell that? Can you smell lemon, lime, orange, kumquat even? Can you smell that? It's very bright. It smells very clean. That's wrong as well. Now I want you to really smell this. It smells like lavender. It smells soft and inviting. It smells soothing. Smell the lavender in this little jar here. Can you smell it? Can you conjure up that smell? You smell the lavender? This is a little jar of pink Himalayan salts, but you just made it smell like a few different things, whereas in reality, this has relatively no scent. It's very, very mild. In actuality, I smell more almost, well, salt, like a sweaty sort of smell, but not quite like that, more clean than that. It's a very earthy scent to it. But you can make it smell like anything you want. We have the sense of smell, and then we have your vision, as well as touch, as well as sound. Now I'm going to touch you. I want you to really focus on the sensation of touch. I want you to feel as this very soft, buttery soft brush with an achingly slow downward stroke feels across your skin. We start at your forehead. Can you feel this on your forehead? Can you feel the press of the bristles? Can you feel as I pull this down between the eyebrows, down the nose, down to the tip of the nose, between the nose and upper lip, lips, and the chin? Could you feel all of that? I want you to just focus on that sensation. Forehead, down between the brows, down the nose, under the nose, over the lips, down the chin. How was that? Did it feel soft? Did it have a coolness or warmth to it? What if I were to place this right at your temple here? Can you feel that? Can you feel that little bit of movement? Right here as I just go in very tiny circles. And what if I were just to drag this down to the cheek? If I just go across the cheek here. Can you feel as I brush back and forth? Can you hear the very, very delicate sounds it makes on your skin? You hear as it just drags down. Can you hear that? We have the sound, we have the visual, and you create the sensation. Can you feel as I go from the temple down to the cheek, to the jaw, and as I pull it forward underneath the chin? Can you feel that? What if I come over here? What if I brush this, the side of your face, right here? Can you feel that? Even if you can't really see it? Can you feel as I go from the middle of the forehead here, and I just bring this to the temple, to the top of the cheekbone, down to the jaw, under the chin? How does that feel? Just go down. Can you feel this? Can you feel the sensation of the brush on your skin? And what if perhaps if we were to use a more pointed form of contact, this much smaller brush. Is this easier or is it more difficult to feel? If I were to just place this right between the brows here, right here, can you feel this? Just the smallest bit of contact here. Is that easier to feel for you? Right here? And if I just go down the nose to the tip of the nose right here, if I just swirl around the tip of the nose, what does that feel like for you? Can you feel the gentle little swish of the bristles along the tip of your nose? What if I were to go right under the nose? Can you feel this? Right here? What about on the chin? Can you feel as I just dot, 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 dot the chin? It's a little more difficult to hear. But does that mean it's more difficult to feel? Can you still feel the sensation of the brush even though it's a little harder to hear? Very soft, delicate sounds. Can you still feel it? If I were to just brush the very tail end of your eyebrow here, can you feel that? What about here? On your temple, on the right side. Can you feel that? Can you feel it if I come from the jaw to the chin here? Feel as I sweep from the jaw to the chin. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Now let's see. I think that we will use downy soft little fibers here. Very soft. Now, this feather has a more solid sensation to it. Feels almost as if you were stroking a paper against the skin. It has that same sort of weight, same sort of give. Now, can you feel this? If I were to just stroke this across your forehead, can you feel it if I use this to just go right across? Has a little bit more sound to it. Across the forehead. Can you feel that? Or maybe is it easier if you feel it just along the jaw here? Would that be easier? Just along the jaw. Can you feel that? Is it easier when you can see the object? Is it easier when you can see it, or when you can hear me tell you where it is? Can you feel that? Can you feel that? Let's go back to the forehead here. Can you feel that? What if I were just to go down the face? Can you feel any of that? You feel it along your skin. Even if I'm not telling you the quality of the touch, if I'm not telling you exactly where it is. You feel that? Now let's use something that you may find just a little bit more pleasant, that may be a little easier to really feel. This is a comb made of jade, and when one strokes the hair with it, can make these very soft, ringing sounds. Can you feel this? Can you feel as the comb runs through your hair? Just like that. How does that feel? Can't see it as well. Maybe you can hear it a little bit better. But can you still feel it? Now I want to ask you a question that I've asked you before. What has your attention right now? What are you thinking of? Is it the same as what you were thinking of before? Or has it changed? How does your body feel in this moment? How do your toes feel? How do your legs feel? What about your stomach? What about your chest? Your shoulders? arms, your head, your neck. How does that all feel right now? And can you still feel me brushing this comb through the hair? Even though the sounds are very subtle, even though for a lot of it you can't see, can you still feel? Can you still feel me comb there? Even when I'm not speaking, and just focused on the comb through the hair. Can you still feel this? Can you still feel the sensation? This is primarily focused on the sense of touch. Just a little bit on sound, but a lot on sight as well. going to connect with your sense of sight primarily, and perhaps a little bit of touch. Now first, I want you to just focus on this river stone. This is a banded river stone. And some say that these hold great luck in them. The more bands, the more good fortune. And this particular stone has seen a lot. Just bring your attention to these very little chips in the rock, in these very tiny little ridges, in the striations. You can almost see through just a little bit in this band of this very light tan color here. It's beige. Just look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Do you know what all these little points of texture mean on this rock? All these little gouges, all these little chips. Do you know what that means? This rock has seen so much, and it's traveled a long way. All these little gouges in the surface, a culmination of the journey it made so that you could see it right now, right here, in this very moment. And now, on the other hand, we have a very interesting stone. And this is a type of agate. Whereas this one holds a very interesting pattern on the inside. And even this little bit is at almost a quartz formation right here. In this rock right here, one would never be able to tell what was inside if one looked at the outside. Look at how smooth that is. It just has very tiny little bit of a glimmer to it, of these very tiny points that glitter in the light. A little bit of wear on it, but ultimately, this pattern on the inside, it's something incredible. Would never imagine that this is what this rock looked like on the inside. Can you see the little tiny variations in color from the deepest point here to the lightest here? All these little lines, all these little patterns. Isn't that just fascinating? Isn't it just amazing that the world creates art that would still be here if we were not here to see it? If there was no one to find meaning in it or appreciation, it would still be here. It would be just under the surface. We have two separate stones here. One with its beauty on the outside despite how flawed, and one with its beauty on the inside despite its smooth and nondescript outside. two halves to a whole. You see the differences and yet still the similarities in the two. They feel the same weight. Do you imagine how these may feel in your hand? The weight of them, the solidness of them. Can you imagine the sound that they make? Almost like raindrops. Almost like raindrops. And even with our river stone, very similar. Two very different objects that still share very interesting, overlapping characteristics. Both beautiful, both heavy, solid. Both sound similar, and yet they look so different, don't they? Now, I'd like you to bring your attention back to your breath. Just notice it. Is it slow? Is it shallow or deep? Just notice your breath. Has it changed from how you intended it to be? Did it get away from you? Now's our chance to bring it back to a slow, deep rhythm. Take a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Good. Connect back with your senses. What is it that you see? You see the color of my eyes, the texture of my hair. Do you notice the way I move? Do you notice where my eyes go? Now, what do you hear? What do you hear around you? Is it just white noise? Or are there birds? Or can you hear your own breathing? Hear your own heartbeat even? What can you hear? What is my voice like? The quality, the speed, the way I enunciate, or the way I soften the S's. What is it that you feel? Can you feel the clothing on your skin? Can you feel any sort of movement in the air, ever so subtle? Can you feel the warmth of sunlight or the coolness of the moon? Can you feel the weight of your body as it sits or lies down? What does that all feel like? How does that feel on your body? Now, what can you smell? Can you conjure up the peppermint or the citrus or the lavender? Or can you make some new smell entirely? Or can you focus on the one in the room with you right now? What do you taste? Just like with the smell, can you imagine a taste? Can you imagine something sweet, something savory, salty, or bitter? Do you taste that on the very tip of your tongue, the sides, the back, or the whole tongue? Where do you taste that? Take a deep breath for me. And out. Deep breath in. And out. Good. Deep breath in. And out. And lastly, what has your attention right now? What is it that you are thinking of? What sticks with you in this moment? Is it similar or is it different from what held your attention in the beginning or the middle? What are you thinking of now? And how does your body feel? Does it feel connected? Can you feel your toes if you wiggle them? Can you feel your fingers if you move them around? Can you feel your legs, your arms, your abdomen, your chest? Can you feel that? Can you feel one whole cohesive unit